Welcome to another video from Dr. Lock. We're looking at a Hyundai Accent 07 model key remote. Now, they do come out on iLoads and various other models, so if you know a model that has the exact same key, if you could leave it down in the description, it always helps us locksmith cross-reference. Now, this particular one here, when I push the button, I'm not getting any light, so it could be a good indication that the battery is actually flat or the remote is broken. First thing we're going to do is just check that it's not the battery. The battery is the quick fix, and you want to buy the best battery you can because that way it'll give you the best performance and last the longest. To get this one apart here, we've got a simple posi drive there, a little P1 tiny screwdriver, one with a nice head on it. So we just take that little screw out. From there we should be able to prise the casing apart, sometimes with our fingernails. Sometimes you need a little, I can do it with my fingernails, but if not you can use a little tiny flat blade screwdriver and just slowly work your way around. Now there's the top of the case here, and here's the remote control here. We don't want to disturb anything because we want to get it all back together nicely and it to clip together, so we're just going to put that aside. So there's our casing. Take note, if your key actually does break or the blade comes out, you can actually buy shells for these type of keys as well, which simply means that this part here you can get replaced. Take your old remote control which has the transponder, the remote control, and simply put it back into the new shell and then have the blade on the shell cut. So if your key is falling apart or the blade separating or the top plastic bit is broken, don't fear, you don't have to go out and get a whole brand new remote control. You can just get a new shell, get it cut, swap the internals, and you should be good to go. Now right here I can see the carbon transponder right there. I can also see that it's 433 megahertz and the button is on the side. So when I push the button, there's a little bubble window here which should actually have a LED behind it and emit a little red light, and that's not happening. So we're going to flip it over here. On the back here I can see it says so the winning number for this one is CR1220, and it looks like it needs a coin to actually unlock it. So I'm just going to use this disc that I've got here. Okay, so you go clockwise. So there's the negative terminal on the bottom there. I like the way they've done this because it simply comes out and we're not messing around with separating the case in any way. The transponder's in a very safe spot. Nothing's really going to get lost. You simply just undo it, swap the battery out. Panasonic CR1220, 3 volt, made in Japan. So I'll read it again, CR1220. Once you've got your replacement battery, there's a little positive symbol on the top of this battery here. You line it up with the positive symbol on the case of the remote control housing. When you have it in that position, you'll see that there's got like a ring on the bottom here, and once we put it together, that would be in contact with the negative side of the circuit. So here we are. It's got a little rubber grommet here as well to take note of. That would be to stop any weather or moisture or anything getting into your remote control, so that will need to be sitting flat and doing its job, otherwise your remote control might not last as long as it should. So I'm just putting it in the hole and just feeling it in until it finds the magic 3 lock-in lunks and they're in the right position. We don't want to force anything here, we just want to rotate it until it actually drops down. And it is a bit of a tight fit, this little coin lid. Okay, let's have another look. Okay, so we got 2 lunks. 2 lunks and 2 lunks. Okay, so if the button is facing me, I'm going to have the line vertically, and that should be in position. So I'm trying to do it in a way so you guys can actually see. Okay, so that's not dropping in that way. Let's move it around to that way. If I'd known this was so hard to find the actual drop-in spot, I would have got a little texture and marked it so I could realign my points. Just rotating it around now till we get to that that particular point. And for some, actually I might even take that gasket off and put the gasket in there already, see if that makes any difference. No, it doesn't. It's better to leave the gasket where it is. But I guess if you were to measure these, you would find that the actual configuration of these 3 notches are not exactly all identical. Okay, there we go, there, got it. Okay, so looking at it this way, I've got the button facing me and the line is vertical and it has the writing on this side. Now we did it clockwise, so we should be able to go anti-clockwise, and we just need a little tiny quarter of a turn, and that's realigned it there. Okay, now when we flip it over, we should be seeing a little light down here. You can see that? You see that? And then we simply just put it back in its housing. If you've got a frequency tester, it'd be good to do that at this stage here and test the frequency and test you're getting good frequency. Now we put the screw back in and we are good to go, and that's replacing a battery on a Hyundai key remote. This one's from an Accent, but it can be from iLoads and other types. Please leave it in the description if you know other types that have this same remote. Thanks for watching.